What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Bussey back with you again for another whiteboard session. Special shout out to my friend Myron Edmonds. His daughter made this hoodie, so I thought I'd rock it today. No dreams wasted. Maybe that'll be the theme as we're talking about how we can achieve more this year going into 2023. A lot of people talking about goals, but how can we ensure that we're doing what we want to do, achieving the things that we want to achieve this year? My name is Frederick Douglass Bussey. I'm the founder of Icon Status. We help entrepreneurs turn their sandcastles into skyscrapers. Let's go to work. So I want to talk about 5 rules for winning this year. We always talk about entrepreneurship and business, and so obviously these rules apply to business. Frameworks for how you can think about accomplishing what you want to accomplish this year. But beyond that, I want to also talk about these are applicable rules for life as well. And I think that you'll find a lot of balance in both of them. Now, if you're watching this on Facebook or LinkedIn, drop a comment below. Let me know where you're watching from, what you're discovering from this conversation. We'll be here for a few minutes just diving into this, but I want to make sure it's valuable for you. If you have a question, feel free to drop that as well. Shortly, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So I started out in the music industry as a songwriter, producer, artist, and in pursuing a career in music, I accidentally became an entrepreneur. 22 plus years later, I have had multiple businesses, multiple six-figure businesses. I have worked with multiple hundreds of entrepreneurs, if not thousands, maybe to recount at some point, but I've worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs, helping them to be able to scale their businesses, to be able to achieve more clarity, growth, more peace, more impact, financial freedom, and wealth in the process. And so today, what we're going to be sharing with you are simply a few of the frameworks or thought processes that we've used over the years, and that what I want to do is be able to help you to install these maybe for this year, in years going forward, to be able to achieve more success in your own life as well. So let's talk about what those things are, right? We all, at the beginning of the year, many people are always thinking about or recalibrating what they want to accomplish for the year. And there's many different frameworks that people have for setting goals. This is not just around setting goals, but this is a way of or a framework of how do I think about the life and the business that I want? How do I think about the things and the outcomes that I want for myself and for those that I love? And so what we want to do today is talk about 5 rules for winning. I can drag a simple L. Rules for winning. All right. So, numero uno. What we want to talk about, the first rule is simple. All right. Incremental equals exponential. Here's why this one is important. A lot of times when we set a goal that's really, really big, and we're super excited to hit that goal. And we hear a lot of people talking about you need to take massive action right now. Oftentimes, there are people that are telling you to invest in their coaching or in their course or to buy their product or things of that nature, right? You need to take massive action, right? But when we look at it, there's something that is really powerful in taking simple actions over and over again in small, repeatable steps. In a book, I believe it's Atomic Habits by James Clear, he tells a story about a coach that was working with the British cycling team. And so they had been never really finished in Olympic competition. They were always out of the running, very, very low ranked in the world. And so one of the things that he did was he had them focus on very, very small incremental steps of improvement, and basically essentially turning into 1% of improvement every single day. Now it seems very, very small, very, very minute, but in doing that in a year's time, and I think it was a very short period of time, they were already moving up the ranks to the point where they became dominant in their sport over the next 3 years, simply by focusing on these small areas of improvement. So incremental actions can create exponential outcomes if we simply focus on those small things. So think about it this year. What can you focus on incrementally, right? How can I incrementally continue to get better? If I can incrementally grow in this area, I'll be able to scale and grow my business much more powerfully. We talk a lot about scaling. People often ask about that. And scaling feels like, well, I've got to go up this mountain. Well, what's the next toehold that I can take? What's the next handhold that I can have that can securely grab me up and move me up to the next level? And those things will be able to help you to grow over time, right? So the next thing we want to focus on is focus on the input, right? To maximize the output. I'll put it to there. All right. Focus on the input to maximize the output. Again, so oftentimes we're focused on what we want, and then we get discouraged when we don't get there. What we fail to do is to analyze the inputs that we're actually putting into this thing, right? So you measure the things that are measurable, and the things that are measurable are the output. Yeah, you're getting the results, but also what's the input that you're putting in? How can I tweak this? If I added one more call a day, if I added one more email a day, if I did one other thing, if I change this, if I change the headline, if I did this, you're testing things all the time. That's one thing you learn as a marketer, is that you learn you're always testing things and failing. And so focusing on the inputs to maximize the output is super important. A lot of times what we're doing is we're focused on tactics, but we're not actually focused on what we're doing. How can we tweak these things? How can we change them? How can I look at them differently through a different lens to be able to maximize the output that I'm getting? Those simple shifts, like a shift in perspective, can help you to see things that you couldn't necessarily see. If I'm standing on a different side of the room, I'm going to be able to see things that I couldn't see from the other side. So what can I see about those inputs, seeing it from a different perspective that's going to allow me to be able to continue to grow and continue to scale? The next thing we want to focus on, and really this will be my number one in every aspect, but it's just where it fell on the list, right? And that is that why is greater than how, right? Why is greater than how? Very often, again, we get focused on the tactics. And we want to, so right now, a lot of people are really into AI and Chat GPT and things of that nature. And people are saying, oh, it's another tool I can use. I can save a lot of time. Oh, I can do this. And look at all the cool and shiny things that we can do and all the bells and whistles that come along with that technology. And what gets lost is, what am I trying to accomplish? Why am I using this thing? Why am I going down this rabbit hole? What is it going to allow me to be able to accomplish? And I don't just mean in terms of productivity. Yes, I can do more, but why do I need to do more? What is the outcome of that? What is the value of it? And so being able to ask that question, sometimes we can avoid going down these rabbit holes ourselves and wasting a lot of time building out this thing where we create more content and more output, but we don't actually create more value in our businesses and what we're able to accomplish in terms of hitting our goals. And so we can look down the line and say, well, we created so much more, many more blog posts and all these different things, and we didn't actually accomplish what we wanted to do. And so stepping back from that, understanding why we're doing what we're doing in the big picture, and even in the small picture from the day to day, can really be helpful for us and helping us understand what we can accomplish, why things are working, and maybe why they're not. Why is always greater than how. So any tactic can work, but why are you using that tactic? And is that tactic actually helping you get closer to what you want, or actually taking you farther away? Because you're delaying moving in the right direction, delaying progress because you're kind of stuck here, spinning out all these other things and using all these other tools and shiny tactics, if you will. All right. So that's number four. Number three. Number four is simply this: focus is greater than time. So a lot of times people are saying, I really wish I had more time. I need more time in my day. I need more time. People say, I want to spend more time with my kids. I want to spend more time working on this in my business. I want to spend more time away, whatever the case may be. And in reality, we understand that one thing you can do to collapse time is also to understand how time works in our minds. And that when you are more focused, you are actually more productive. Like one minute of focused thought can be more powerful than an hour of busy activity, right? And so you can feel like you understand why people can get more done in 1 hour than they can in an entire day or in an entire week, because their focus was aligned. And so when we can do that, we can actually shift. And I actually have a whole challenge, the time time freedom challenge and more time, more money challenge, where we talk a lot about these things. But the idea is, how do we harness that focus, right? How do we combat the distractions? How do we harness that focus so we can be more productive? Yes, but we can also be more powerful, which creates exponential results, not just linear ones. And so we're not just thinking, what can I do this day, this week, next year, but how can I take the results of 10 years from now, consistent result, and I can create that by being more focused on on the tasks that I'm doing, on the work that I'm creating, on the outputs that I'm getting. Focus is the greatest input that we can put in anything. All right. So number 5 is really simple, and this one is a little bit well. Let me just phrase it like this. All right. So I know I was going to say that. And this one really comes when it comes down to media and content and things of that nature, right? And people are always focused on this. So width equals reach, but depth equals impact, right? Why is this important? Because width will get you attention, but depth will get you impact, and it's a more sustainable outcome. So width equals reach, right? So the more broadly you talk about something, you can reach more people. Great. I want to reach a lot of people. I want to be able to grow that. But depth, the deeper I go into a topic, the more impact I create. Because the deeper I go, I can actually help to transform people through the content that I'm giving, through the information that I'm getting, the more value that I have. So think about it this way. Width is a shiny object that a lot of people are attracted to, because width feels like you're being validated in terms of your content, in terms of the reach, your audience, and things of that nature. But depth, the deeper I go into the psychology of my clients, the deeper I go into the value that I'm creating for them, the more valuable I become, and therefore the more powerful the outcomes that I can create, the easier it is to hit my goals, et cetera, et cetera. And so what we want to focus on this year, and every year really, but is not just going wider, but going deeper. And wider is exciting because wider often tends to go back to tactics, right? And so tactically, people are always telling me about how to get more followers, how to get more reach, et cetera. All those things are powerful. They're important in their own right. But going deeper, having more depth in terms of what you're creating, and that means focusing on the details, the artistry, the the um, the craft of your work, right? Whatever that is, whether it's being an attorney or being an accountant, being whether you're a doctor, whether you're a tech entrepreneur, focusing on the depth of what you're creating, right? Setting a firm foundation. And when you look at skyscrapers, right? Oftentimes you'll find their foundation is 4, 5, 6, 10 levels deep in terms of the basement, because the higher you want to go, the deeper you have to build. And a lot of people are trying to go wide. And when you're going wide, yeah, you can have a wide foundation, but you can't go very high because you don't have the depth of foundation. So what happens is, especially with skyscrapers, they have to learn how to sway in the wind to give and take. But that sway is determined by the level of the foundation that they have for their skyscraper. So if you don't have the depth of your foundation, then you're going to fall over. You'll essentially crack in half or crack at the base, because you don't have the depth to be able to give you that hold. And so the same thing comes true with your audience, with your potential clients, prospects, whatever the case may be. The deeper you can go, the more powerfully you'll be held in regard, and the more powerfully you can lean into your goals for the year. All right. So let me know in the comments what you're discovering from this. If you're watching this and a replay, drop a hashtag replay and drop your comments there as well. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this. But just simply recap, right? Incremental equals exponential. Focus on input to maximize your output. Why is always greater than how. Focus is greater than time. And width equals reach, but depth equals impact. And so you want to know how to be able to focus on these things. These 5 rules are the rules for winning this year. Let me know how you're experiencing. If you have other rules that you're focused on, what's the rule that you're focused on to help you win in 2023? and going forward. If you are interested in learning more and seeing more content like this, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, share this on YouTube. If you are interested in hearing more trainings and master classes where we talk exclusively about content around how to scale your business, please join the Seven Figure Circle $1 Million Mastermind Facebook group. It's a free group for 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs that want to go to 7 figures and beyond to be able to grow their businesses more powerfully and to achieve greater and greater outcomes, more impact, more freedom financially and otherwise, and build a life of wealth in every way. That wealth means more than just money. So building a life of wealth in every possible way, right? My name is Frederick Douglass Bussey. This has been another whiteboard session. I look forward to seeing you all. Great to have you here for a second or for the entire time. As always, my name is Frederick Douglass Bussey. Ever forward.